What's up, everyone? Welcome to one of my very, very first YouTube videos. I'm just watching myself in the future, trying to learn how to use OBS to capture my gameplay screen. I don't know if I'll edit this out in the future, but I'll probably just upload everything raw and just kind of improve my skills as I go. I figure it out. Yeah, here we go. I got it. Yeah, there you go. You're doing it. Almost there. Come on. There you go. Right. Perfect. Good job, buddy. So, I don't know about you guys, but me, I'm kind of out of, well past adolescence and entering into my 30s, and I find it very hard to just sit down and enjoy things. Oh, this is the part where I thought my game crashed when I went to go pause. Gameplay comes back. I'll probably just edit this out, depending on how the audio sounds over it. There's the cursor. Come back to life. There we go. DD2 likes to think about itself a lot, like we all do. But, you know, as I get older and you kind of see how other people are doing around you, I kind of find it difficult to enjoy things I did in the past and just do them for the sake of doing them and relaxing. And I find that comparing myself to others and what they're doing is one of the biggest culprits of me not being able to enjoy things that I used to like. Like when I started this new job about a little less than a year ago, I'd never been in a workplace where I've met so many bright and well-credentialed young people that really just kind of had their heads together at such a young age. It's really humbling and feels a little embarrassing too that they know, at least they seem like this, maybe they feel the same way, but they have their head on straight. They have a path they know that they're going to walk on, and it just seems like it's just frustrating knowing that, like, you've started over time and time again trying to find something that fits you right, just hoping that the efforts you're making now kind of stick against the wall. And that's kind of where I am right now, starting over again in the same company, but something completely different, something I think hopefully this time will actually stick. But it kind of makes you realize how vast of a difference some people start off in life, or how much traction they gain so quickly in life, whether it be through like the education and knowledge and life experience that their parents or guardians or relatives or friends, just the community they surround themselves with, kind of showed them the way. And just how really simple a lot of these advanced paths of life are. That seems like such a mystery to me, especially when I was young. Like, never in my life did I ever consider that I could be an electrical engineer. I'm not currently pursuing that, but talking to people who are, and kind of being around the industry of that, and just being around and talking to more professional engineers in general, makes you kind of realize that at least a lot of things in the past well, a lot of things in life and a lot of things that I've done in the past that I could have taken advantage of if I just had a little bit of courage and more curiosity into it. It's really not as difficult as it seems. And I'm not saying that electrical engineering is easy. It's not by any means. But, and not to put anybody down, but you see the people that become engineers and people of high, I wouldn't say high influence in a company or anything like that. You know, their decisions kind of affect big projects and the like. But you realize just how accessible it is and how it kind of slips through your fingers. And it just makes me feel really inadequate about myself. And I think a lot of people kind of realize that when they look back on their life, like the old phrase, youth is wasted on the young, you know, or if I knew then, if I could go back with the knowledge I had now, things would be a lot different. Things like that. This is already turning into a big rambling nothing, but I guess it's just a way to get some thoughts out of my head. But I guess, you know, kind of going back to my original point of comparison being the thief of joy and things I want to, in comparison being a thief of relaxation for relaxation's case, is that you look at people around you, you look at people on social media, you look at people that are doing well in their fields of interest, whether it be a STEM field, art, music, culinary endeavors, even just like basic life stuff like buying a house, settling down, starting a family. And you've started over so many times and you can't help but be interested in all this stuff that it really makes you feel like that all of your free time, your downtime has to be spent pursuing skills in order to catch up with these other people because you feel like you're falling behind. I certainly feel that way, and it brings me a great deal of anxiety and depression. And, you know, you kind of ride the wave of grounding yourself, coming back to reality, and being present with yourself and what you're doing, and knowing that you're trying your best. You got a new outlook and something new to try, and you should be thankful that you've been able to start over so many times and do relatively well for yourself in the short time that you have started over in these new career fields or skills or anything like that. But you know, you also got to deal with the downturn of those waves where you can't help but feel self-loathing and looking at other people and seeing what they're doing, and it just brings you down. And you know, you can't sit down and enjoy playing Dragon's Dogma 2, the game you've been waiting for over 10 years to come out, because you were just a little baby when the first game came out and you loved the heck out of it. But now every time you sit down and play the game for about an hour, you just feel shitty that you spent the time playing a video game for an hour, which, you know, ultimately there's no real positive outcome in that. You could have spent some time like watching an electrical theory lesson video on YouTube, or you know, keep up with your programming lessons on Python, or spending an extra hour or so in the gym, or go for a walk, or do something like that. But you know, when all your mental energy is just going towards worrying about other people in a full-time job, and how far you think you've fallen behind, it just leaves you so drained at the end of the day that all you really want to do is just ultimately go to sleep for like 11 hours every night. But even then, you can't do that because, you know, you just know somebody out there that you're envious of, that you're comparing yourself to, is working harder than you. They're earning their MBA, they're putting those extra couple sets in the gym. They're organizing their living space to be more efficient, more optimized for their morning routine, so they can have the least stressful morning as possible. And all you want to do is just turn all that off and just sit down and do something that used to relax you when you were a kid, whether it's play a video game or read a book, watch some anime, you know, cook a meal that you know is going to be really terrible for you, but it's good for your soul more than it is for your body. But I guess that's just how it is getting older. I'm not saying I'm old. I'm not. I don't feel old. I just feel behind. You know? And it just really sucks, like, having so many interests in so many things, and you feel like you don't have enough time to pursue it because you can't pick just one, because you're so curious about the world and you want to spend all of your day learning. Like, I love learning. Like, I wish I realized that when I was in school, but school is really not, especially public school, is not the best environment for learning. Just, especially if you grew up in the No Child Left Behind days. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore. But man, I'm a hell of a test taker, let me tell you that much. I can memorize a study guide and get a great grade on a test and forget all that information like nobody's business. But that's not learning. That's not learning what you care about or are curious about. And I think that's almost what contributes to the guilty feelings of trying to enjoy your leisure time as well. I don't even know if that makes sense. Again, I'm just kind of throwing out a word salad and vomiting into a salad bowl with my words and mixing it up and serving it to everybody who tunes into this. And if you don't like vomit salad, well, I'm sorry. I'll try to better myself. But I'm going to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2 for a bit, and hopefully my mind will get back on track with what I intended to make this video about. So, I don't know about you guys, but when I played DD1, I played through every single class because I just had to max out all the vocations, even for classes I didn't like the caster classes, mage and sorcerer. I hate playing casters. Gosh, I want to be in the action, just doing damage, drawing aggro, running shop on people. And Thief is pretty fun for that in this game. Very broken, even at such a small level that I am, level 32, with mid daggers and, you know, maxed out fighter before this, so I have decent defense and a decent health pool. So it's kind of fun being a little bit tankier of a thief. And gosh, their abilities are just crazy. Implicate's amazing for staggering enemies. Smokescreen is way better than I thought it was. I was watching a Nil Zero video about it, and he said, yeah, you just throw it down and enemies just wait for you to kill them, which trivializes a lot of encounters, but if you're just trying to play this game to relax and watch your vocation meter go up, that's not bad. Same with Brain Splitter, man. Smokescreen and Brain Splitter against like Cyclopses or Ogres or anything like that. Oh my gosh, you just tear them to pieces. It's freaking awesome. I wish they did keep the broken version of it though, from DD1, where you can Brain Splitter off of any height and not take any fall damage. That was pretty sick. I find myself doing that on accident sometimes, off cliffs into the brine. But you know, when you can only muster to play video games for the video games you like, really, really like, for about an hour a week, the skills really don't sit in very well. Which is a shame, you know, to anybody out there that really finds like they can only allow themselves in like about an hour a week to do things they really like just for the sake of things they like. Excuse me, just had dinner. It's really sad. Oh, here's a good. This Minotaur is a great showcase for how amazing Brain Splitter is. And dude, just fighting big enemies in this game and just even DD1 is so awesome. Like the way they behave, the way they interact with their environment. I think even in this fight, when the Minotaur starts charging around, I know it's kind of hard to see because it's really dark. He smashes his head into a wall and he concusses himself and he falls over. Man, like what other game does that? Maybe Monster Hunter does, but I never really played like Monster Hunter World or anything like that because it was too big of a time sink and I thought it wasn't worth the effort because it's you know, spend your time doing something better and all that jazz. But here he goes. He's going absolutely bonkers and he smashes his head into the wall like an idiot. And we just run shop on him, stab him in the head. Amazing. Do it again, do it again. This Grappler pawn I picked up. This guy's weird looking as hell, but man, he does his job. And Mercedes is my main pawn. She's kicking ass. Caught me many times falling from a dragon or a griffin, and I really appreciate that about her. But yeah, I think learning to, if you are going to compare yourself to others, you shouldn't take yourself so seriously. You shouldn't take the comparison so seriously. You should take yourself seriously. Well, you should take what you do seriously and don't take yourself so seriously. And don't take your comparisons that you make of yourself to others so seriously. Because at the end of the day, what they're doing, it doesn't matter. And people tell you that all the time. People have told me that all the time. I tell myself all that all the time. But it's really difficult to always keep that in the front of your head and put that into practice. I'm sorry if the pop filter isn't working very well. But yeah, just learning how to keep that perspective that, you know, if you're going to compare yourself to others, do yourself a favor and try to draw inspiration from it. You know, like a lot of these, like when I first started this job at this new company, all the engineers that I met were telling me that, you know, they were kind of like similar students to me in school. You know, you did very average on the ACT, memorized answers for tests very well. And if you can do that and just suffer through your undergrad program for engineering, you can make it. And they say that's the hardest part of being an engineer, is going to school to be an engineer. Because a lot of them haven't used any of their college teachings, their engineering teachings, in their job yet. We were practically doing the same job. And they were on a different path because they have an undergrad degree. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know, they made that decision and they put that investment into themselves, and, you know, God love them for that. I'm glad I've met so many young people that are doing that for themselves. It's very inspiring to see. And I hope to be like that in the future when I kind of have more confidence in what I'm doing now is going to stick, and it kind of becomes second nature. You know, like you do a job for a while and you don't have to think about actually doing the job. You just show up to work and do your job, and before you know it, you're on your way home. And you can go home and pursue what you really want to do, or pursue the thing that's going to make your job even better, or give you better opportunities at your current job. I really tried to avoid that dragon, but I mean, everybody else was going for it, and this dragon started talking mad smack. So I'm like, all right, we'll see how we do. Last dragon I fought took me about 4 tries to beat. And I figured since he's by Melv, he can't be that high level. And you know, that damage isn't so bad. Like, it's pretty good, I think. But you know, Thief is just overpowered. And climbing on him, try to stab his heart, and the camera's the worst enemy you can have when trying to do that. But Mercedes and I, excuse me, going to town on this dude. And we're doing all right. Having a sorcerer or a mage in your party is OP. And I think, you know, learning, you know, I haven't encountered a lot of dragons, ironically, in this game, so learning how to fight them with the little differences in DD2 is fun. It's a bit of a learning curve from DD1, where if you got really good at a vocation with really good gear, like I played Mystic Knight almost exclusively in DD1 and had gold rarefied gear out the wazoo, just melting Cursed Dragon and all the drakes and everything like that, like it was nothing. The game became so trivial after a while, but it was still fun. I hate that dragons can cast, or drakes, whatever this thing is, can cast magic. It's a bane of my existence, magic users. Coming from the bane of my existence is magic users coming from the Mystic Knight main. But we had cool shields and maces, so it's okay. But yeah, I think this is where the dragon pieces out. I thought this griffin was gonna come join the party and they would start fighting. I don't even know if that can happen in this game. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. It's getting close to my bedtime, and I got work in the morning. But yeah. But comparing yourself to others, ultimately in the end, is not healthy if you can't keep a healthy perspective on it. And it's something I'm trying to get better at. Heck, even like you watch people that play Dragon's Dogma 2, or like Elden Ring, Dark Souls, you name it, whatever kind of game, there's always going to be people that are better than you. And that's just a fact of life. But it's just so hard when you watch them display their success online, or you see it in person, and you just have that little thought in the back of your head, like, no matter what I do, no matter how much I practice or strategize and do what I can, this person just has a higher base starting point than I do at this particular thing. And it's going to be like ice skating uphill, or nearly almost impossible for me to catch up and be competent to where they are. So yeah, at least Ulrika is happy to see us. But yeah, I don't know. I think about that a lot. I try to catch myself a lot when I compare myself to others. It's so distracting, man. It's so distracting from keeping yourself from living in the present and realizing, I'm very fortunate enough where I have enough that I can survive day to day with slight luxury and not really worry about where my next meal is coming from or saving for rent or anything like that. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are suffering with that. And if you're one of those people, I really feel for you, man, or woman, or just nondescript person listening to this. Because life's rough. Life is fucking rough. And it gets even rougher when you really can't just be there for yourself. And I think being there for yourself is the most important skill you can have. And one of my good friends many years ago told me that he's lived on his own with a roommate. Lived on his own for many, many years. And he's always such a happy dude with a go-lucky attitude. I mean, he gets sad just like the rest of us. But I really am inspired by that guy a lot because he is so enthusiastic about what he's into. He's unabashedly proud and forthcoming and excited about what he's interested in. And he just loves it for the sake of loving it and the way it makes him feel. And when I catch myself in the dumps feeling crappy about myself and comparing myself to others, I think about what he told me long ago, and I'm pretty sure, I know it's a quote from somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's from Gurren Lagann, but it's something along the lines of like, you need to learn to be best friends with yourself because at the end of the day, you're the only consistent company you have. Unlike Ulrika taking us to this beach on Mel where she's gonna, I don't know, arisen our dragon. But bro, if you're listening to this video, you find it somehow. I know we don't really talk as much as I would like, especially if you discount like sending each other memes and stuff. I really appreciate your friendship and all the things you've inadvertently taught me over the years of us knowing each other. It's you're a good dude, and I really try to keep that same mentality that you do from day to day. Yeah. Got about 5 minutes left in this video. It's when the gameplay footage ends. But yeah, I really don't know what else I can say about the issue other than I just keep repeating myself. But I guess I'll just talk about Dragon's Dogma 2. Overall, I think it's good. I think it's a fun game. Is it perfect? No. Do I think it's better than DD1? Dark Arisen? I haven't played much to give a concrete answer. Oh, excuse me. But as of right now, I'm about 21 hours into the game-ish. I don't know, thereabout. I'm going to say DD1, Dark Arisen, is the better game overall. Strictly because of gameplay. I'm a big gameplay guy. Gameplay's not good. I don't think it's a good game. But yeah, I mean, this game looks great. gosh, the graphics style is kind of plain Jane, but that's kind of the whole deal of Dragon's Dogma. It's very traditional Western fantasy. But I like that very traditional kind of high fantasy style, a la Conan the Barbarian and Lord of the Rings, and traditional D&D principles and stuff. I wish they weren't so ham-fisted with treating the game like it is a D&D game, like vocations in the party and all that stuff. Just like I just think like acknowledging the meta of the game and NPCs really takes you out of the world. It's really immersion breaking, and I know you have to do that for like tutorials and such, but I mean, come on. We're all big kids playing this game. Been playing fantasy RPGs for freaking decades. I can't really imagine how many of the youth nowadays play fantasy RPGs. So we all know what's going on. All these big kids playing these big cool adult games. We don't need immersion breaking tutorials and such. But I'm gonna have to go back to this old dude in this cabin, because he said a lot of, I think he just kind of told me like the end of the game, but I was just skipping through his dialogue, not reading it, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna make another video like this. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video at all, but I'm just gonna throw this one up on the internet into the abyss of YouTube and see if anybody listens to it, especially if anybody makes it all the way through this half-hour long video. And if you do, you make it to the end, thanks for sticking around. Whether you just have this on in the background and you're making dinner right now, I hope dinner was tasty, or you got it in you're just driving along in your car and you hopefully are hands-free, just listening to the video, not watching it with your phone propped up on the dashboard. But this is kind of fun. I like doing this. Maybe next time I'll try recording live commentary while playing the game. Kill two birds with one stone, But it looks like game time is over. Yep, going to the title screen. It's time to say goodnight. All right. Thanks again to anybody who sat down and took the time to listen to me ramble about nothing. I appreciate it. And stay awesome, everybody. Thanks.